Good afternoon, colleagues. Thank you for your time and attention to our event, whatever you are watching in live or in recording. My name is Savva. I am a partner at the law firm Rivera, Cyprus. Joining me today is my colleagues, leading lawyer Fedonas Ioannou and Georgios Kosasvili. Georgios Kosasvili is responsible for banking and immigration issues. Good afternoon, Fedonas and George. Thank you for finding time to join us.
Good afternoon, Savva. Thank you for the
introduction. Good afternoon,
everyone.
Summarizing the last year has already become a tradition in our company and trying to focus what is important this year. At the end of 24, our colleagues from Rivera offices, Georgia, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan have recorded similar videos, and today is our turn to talk about Cyprus. This is another opportunity of us to remind you of the important legal events we have covered through the year on the various channels to provide an overview, analyze business inquiries received by our office lawyers, attempt to understand how the changes have impact business, identify trends and patterns, and see the bigger picture. Additionally, we will discuss what changes to expect and what means for business. If you have any questions, please write them on the chat, or you know where to find us by email. So let's start it. At first, I would like to give a general overview of the market in the year 2024 and general trends that can affect the business here in Cyprus. And furthermore, we will see what we are expecting for the year 2025. Since the 80s, Cyprus benefit and influences from unstable situations of the countries around us, especially in the area of Israel, Lebanon, and Kuwait. Since the year 2000, we can say the same related to CIS countries. For example, Russia, Ukraine, Belarus. Today's Cyprus market has been affected dramatically with the labor import from these countries on construction business from Syria, Georgia, Romania, and Bulgaria. On Forex and IT sector, mostly from Israel, Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. Our legislations and strong economy attract new business to the sectors mentioned above to move their headquarters and key employees at minimum here. Our government creates such regulations as such tax benefits that Cyprus in nowadays it's one of the most attractive places to live. English speaking is common here in Cyprus, but I believe Russian speakers increased dramatically in the last 10 years. In Cyprus, in any restaurant, in any kiosk, supermarket, you will find Russian speakers to work there. In my opinion, regulations and procedures that have huge impact on our business are, which this is what we'll try to elaborate today, is compliance with UPO registry and EU redomiciliations, which Fedonas will talk us later, immigration procedures, what is coming, blue cards, citizenship, and then that George will talk about it, and then I will try to explain about opening bank accounts here in Cyprus and the IP box regime. Fedonas, I believe we should start from you.
Great. Thank you, Savva. Hello, everyone, from me as well. So as Savva said, in year 2024, there were some significant legal changes and procedures in Cyprus that affected various business, if not all. One of these changes were the UPO registry requirement that required all businesses in Cyprus to submit details and information to the new UPO registry platform at the Register of Companies in Cyprus, the details of the ultimate beneficial owner. Many businesses were pressure to submit this because there were penalties that could be imposed, big penalties to these companies. The time passed in 2024, and we reached the deadlines. Personally, in our office, we made sure all our clients were informed, and we acted proactively to avoid any risk of penalties. However, not all businesses managed to comply with the deadlines, and at the end, they faced big risk of getting imposed big penalties, as high as up to 20,000 euro. Now, it later showed that the government reconsidered these heavy penalties, and they changed some details. So it was all natural from our clients to come to us and ask questions. What do we do? I mean, even new businesses that came to us asking for help, they wanted to make sure that they complied and what will be the result. So the result was, thankfully, that the deadlines that were passed in 2024, they were extended. And right now, we are in a situation where by the end of January, the businesses still have time to submit the information for their ultimate beneficial owner. And by the end of March, it's the deadline to reconfirm in the new platform the details of the ultimate beneficial owner. Whereas before the maximum penalty was 20,000 euro, now with a new decision by the parliament and the government, the maximum penalty is 5,000 euro, which it can be said it's more reasonable. This may start from 100 euro the first day and continue adding up until the maximum amount. So this was one of the significant changes in 2024, and the second one from me, I would say.
Fedonas,
Yes,
I think we should discuss the issue about the UPO registry, that there was a rumor what happened to Europe countries that the UPO registry will be obsolete. So there was some months in 2024 that even our government couldn't get a position if really it's going to be, we will be having such a UPO registry in 2024, 2025. So, and then by surprise, we received all of these notifications about the penalties of the 20,000 euro. It was a shock to all of us, and especially the ones that they didn't manage to do so.
Yes, I completely agree with this. It seemed that there were some confusions, and that was one of the reasons that many businesses ended up in dead end and not knowing what to do, and being very concerned about the high penalties, especially when some business may not be as big as others, may not have as big revenue as others, in which case such a high penalty of 20,000 will be very serious for them. There was also some situation discussion about the data protection of the ultimate beneficial owner. Initially, the registry was going to be accessible by the public generally, but ultimately it was decided that due to data protection and some decisions that were taken in the European Union, this is now not going to be accessible by the public, but only by the government persons and the directors of each company. Thank you, Savva, for your addition. Now, moving on, there was another very interesting development, and that was the EU directive, the European directive on cross-border conversions, or as you may know better, it's the redomiciliation. Now, the redomiciliation of a company, when a company moves its business from one country to another, while taking with them all assets and liabilities, it was always possible. However, now the new EU directive wants to make sure that all the processes within European Union are unified and the same in order to protect the shareholders, the minority shareholders of the company, the creditors, as well as the employees. So these new regulations right now have better structure to make sure the interests of these persons are more protected. For example, a change is that such approval for domiciliation within European Union has to be finally approved by court. This is another subject that we've been receiving many questions about, especially since in some European countries, it's not possible to move the company outside European Union. But in Cyprus, however, this is possible. So many times we end up receiving requests from businesses where they might be located in another European country, and we offer them the solution to move to Cyprus as a first steps and eventually be able to move outside European Union. So this is, I think, another important change that happened in 2024, and it will continue to be of interest. At this point, I will give the stage to my colleague, George, who will speak more about immigration matters. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate the introduction, Fedonas. I would like to say that I'm excited to be here today and talk about some of the important developments taking place in Cyprus and how they could impact both on individuals and on businesses. I'll begin by discussing some of the significant legislative changes regarding the process of becoming a Cypriot citizen. Where one of the most notable recent development, it was in the area of highly skilled employees from third countries. With the revised law passed on December 19, 2023, third country nationals employed in Cyprus as highly skilled professionals in companies of foreign interest are able to apply for a Cypriot citizenship after 4 to 5 years of legal residency in Cyprus. And the most exciting part of this update is the introduction of the fast track option of these applications, which ensures the applications are examined within 8 months. Because if you will compare the citizenship application examination by each country, I think a fast track option.
We need to focus here that for first time, this government managed to have a separate department about the fast track, and we see actually passports issue on 7 to 8 months.
Exactly.
It's a big surprise.
It is.
But it's happening. And the reason it's happening because they have now a special, they have a separate department for the fast track. And I'm excited about this if they continue.
Exactly. A third country national can become a European citizen within just 8 months after submitting the citizenship application. Adding that, there was another amendment to the law with the Greek language knowledge certificate requirement, which was not in the past required for the citizenship naturalization. And depending on the level of the applicant's Greek language proficiency, the citizenship is depending on the residency duration as well. So the better Greek you know, the much quicker you can apply for.
And because of this, the last year, we started having clients, Russia speakers, especially IT guys coming to our office. And the first 5 minutes of the conversation is in Greek language. which for me is still excited to see people interested about our language.
It
Which
is.
another one positive thing to learn the Greek language.
Exactly. It's not something new, to be honest, because most of the countries, when you are applying for a citizenship, there is the section of the integration part in the culture. So it was not implemented in the past, which it should be. So they implemented it now. I wanted to add another significant change we had in 2024. It was the Cypriot Parliament passing the new legislation in line with the European Blue Card Directive, to implement the EU Blue Card scheme in Cyprus. This implementation of the Blue Card is an exciting development as well for skilled workers, as it opens up a range of opportunities and for both personal and professional growth within the EU. Now, the Blue Card has been in place in the Schengen zone in the past. It's not something new, but in terms for the third country nationals residing in Cyprus, this Blue Card will be able to benefit the third country nationals in Cyprus with a visa-free travel, along with the other advantages that it has. So now the most recent questions that I have received from the clients was now when exactly the migration department is accepting the Blue Card, since it is already implemented in the national law. I wanted to mention that at this time there's no official statement from the migration department with regards on the examination and the acceptance of such application. But we assume that probably this is because of the fact that Cyprus is not yet in the Schengen zone, so there are some regulatory challenges that in terms of the visa-free travel and the mobility benefits
George,
ties.
it's our president promise that all this will be get in place in 2025.
Exactly. By the end of 2025 or early 2026, we're expecting to either join, maybe we could get the example of Bulgaria and Romania. We could join the Schengen zone by
Can you
air.
explain, please, how it happened in Bulgaria and Romania so our audience
Um,
understand?
Yes, Bulgaria and Romania joined firstly Schengen zone by air because of the corruption and the EU not being satisfied with
So they
fulfilling the
still have
requirements.
borders. They still have borders.
Yes,
Just when you travel to the other countries, you are not passing through any.
exactly. So if Cyprus joins also similarly as Bulgaria and Romania did, traveling from Larnaca or Paphos airport to any EU country, there will be no passport controls. Exactly. So this is from me, Savvas.
Okay, thank you. I left the two hot matters for myself, as I'm actually, despite the fact that Georgios is responsible for banking, I, I, I would like to speak about it because it's a very sensitive matter, and this is where we receive some more complaints why Cyprus is like this. Banking in Cyprus, it's not easy in general. After the incidents of the 2013, our Cyprus bank became very conservative, especially when it comes to compliance. In nowadays, an employee in Cyprus to open a bank account, it has to present the ID, not only the contract of employment, not only that everything is on place, he's working, he's going to get paid by the company, but he has to wait when our immigration will produce his ID. This is not fair, to be honest with you, but this is it. I mean, we are trying through the banks to explain them that it shouldn't be like this, because you can open the bank account and then in a month, in 2 months, you can give the copy of this card. Bank of Cyprus replying back to us that for the IT companies, they can accept opening bank accounts of their employees only with a receipt that he submitted all his documents to the immigration. Nevertheless, we still have problems. For the companies to open a bank account, it has to have office here in Cyprus and employees. It needs substance. So how to explain substance for every bank is different. In my experience, if you can show a rental agreement that you rent with 2 employees, the bank will open you the bank account. Still the same problem, still the problem remains for companies that they have relation with crypto, gambling, and adult related matters. We are expecting in 2025, after the positive directive from EU Central Bank related to crypto will go out of this from the banks not accepting companies in crypto. As it concerns another issue that is related to us, as we have a lot of clients on the IT business, is the IP box. IP box in Cyprus, unfortunately, there is no certificate that you can receive from the tax office. It says that your company qualifies for the IP box. So you know that you will have the discount from 12.5% up to 2.5%. What we are doing, and this is the only way to get assurance about if you are allowed the discount on the tax rate, is through the tax ruling. Tax ruling is what is actually, there is a special department in our government, not that belongs to the Minister of Economics, not to the tax department. And actually, you are sending to them with a 2,000 euro fee to give you an opinion based on your letter. So actually, it's a letter. You point out what is needed to be answered to them. Most of the times, you are trying to give them to tell us, answer kind of yes or no. So we make sure that it's clear what we are receiving from them. And they actually answer the letter you give it to them. Us as specialists here in Cyprus, I'm very careful about preparing the letter and preparing in the terms that what we ask is actually representing the company. So it's very important from your side to give us the correct information. The IP box is based on Nexus approach, which is actually you need to separate the revenues in qualify, and then you separate the expenses to qualify and qualify. But for sure, to have a Nexus approach, you need to have a qualified asset. So it's one of the questions we receive a lot. What is a qualified asset? Qualified asset means that there is intellectual property, which is asset of the company. So the owner is the company, and there are expenses related, direct expenses related to this intellectual property. Another question that we receive a lot is about how many employees needed for a company to qualify for the IP box. The law here, it says that the company to qualify needs to have an office here in Cyprus. And the decision-making about the production of the IP to be done in Cyprus. Until now, I always said to my clients, 2 employees in needed. but the two employees, one of them at minimum, must have the background, the knowledge of a software developer. We have some cases that we receive a positive and negative answer to when the company is actually Cyprus company, it has offices in Cyprus, but the decision making is done by the director of the company, which is the shareholder, but not employed to the company for any reason. Maybe he's in Cyprus through a permanent resident or a visitor visa. So he doesn't have the right to be employee, but he has a right to be director of the company. So in this case, we receive a positive and negative answers. It depends how they see and how they answer to us. Finally, I would like to speak about major changes related to companies between related party transactions. We will be forced in 2025 to use a summarized information table stating all the related party transactions. And if these transactions, they are over the limit of the TPA analysis, then a transfer price analysis is needed. All of these, I know that it will increase the cost of the company to be here in Cyprus, but it's actually is coming from EU directive, and not only. I believe this is one of the reasons that international is going on now to reduce the tax advantages that the multi-corporations have around the world. Further to this, Cyprus is adopting the 50% tax rate for big corporations, but the 12.5% corporate rate stays the same. So big corporations, when it comes to the picture, we're talking about Apple, Google, and similar ones. Here in this office, unfortunately, we don't have such a companies. I believe now we should talk about the trends and what we are expecting for the 2025. Fedonas, please.
Yes, hi, thank you, Savva. So there are a number of things we will expect for 2025. Some developments that will inevitably affect the businesses in Cyprus, and what kind of trends we may be seeing that will happen. So, as I said before, for example, myself, it was about the need for moving the company's register address and office to another country. We expect this interest to continue to grow, actually, for the redomiciliation of the company. And that one of the main reasons for this is because, as we all know, after the introduction of the unfriendly countries list from Russia and Belarus, many businesses are affected. And it's important for them if they want to avoid having to pay big amounts as fines or taxes just because of who the ultimate beneficial owner is from. They will want to continue finding solutions, for example, moving around their companies to another country to avoid such negative impact. So this is one of the things we expect the interest to grow in 2025. And I'm sure my colleague George will also have some more interesting things to say about this. George?
Sure. We are expecting, as previously mentioned with Savva and our president Christodoulidis' statement, Cyprus has set a goal to become a full member of the Schengen zone by the end of 2025 or early 2026. maybe not full or partially. So Cyprus is working hard to meet the Schengen requirements, which will involve significant improvements in border controls, security measures, and data sharing systems. This is expected to lead to changes in infrastructure and regulatory adjustments, particularly in areas like immigration and border security. Also, we have to mention that the special situation in the island, the division of the occupation line, Cyprus, as we already spoke, may initially join the Schengen zone partially at the air borders and the land borders following at a later stage, just as Bulgaria and Romania. I wanted to also note that for businesses and resident Cyprus, entry in the Schengen zone will become a game changer. So we're expecting major changes in 2025 in terms of migration and the immigration changes. What I wanted to add as well is that we didn't mention before the US visa waiver program, which currently Cyprus is not part of the visa waiver program, and the government is actively working with the US authorities to meet the necessary requirements for its inclusion. So if Cyprus joins the visa waiver program, it will allow all the Cypriot citizens to travel to the US for tourism or business-related travels for up to 90 days without the need of a visa. So we will be expecting this change as well in 2025 or 2026. Now, I would also like to speak about the trends that there are several key trends in Cyprus for businesses that we spoke also previously that businesses should closely monitor as they could have a significant impact on both operations and opportunities. These are the blue card demand, as we mentioned previously, the US visa-free travel, the fastest citizenship examination and approvals, and the Greek language knowledge requirement. Now, with regards to the blue card demand, we also have now the highly skilled employees in Cyprus employed with a BCS permit, which at this moment in time, because of Cyprus not being a member of the Schengen zone, this permit is valid only in Cyprus. So we have two options. Most probably the migration authorities may approve the BCS permit validity in the Schengen zone, or most probably if Cyprus joins the Schengen zone, then the BCS permits will be valid automatically in the Schengen zone. So we'll have to see some changes with this regard and the BCS permit conversion to the blue card, or the acceptance. So we're expecting these changes with the permits, as well as the US visa-free travel, as mentioned, and past citizenship approvals, which we have significant changes there with a fast track option. And the Greek language knowledge now, as Savvas mentioned, most of the companies should be aware of this and persuade their employees to start the Greek language courses already in Cyprus as they migrate to Cyprus to prepare them for the citizenship. This is the trend that the businesses should pay attention to, so that within 3 or 4 years of their legal residency in Cyprus, they are fully prepared for their citizenship application. This is from me.
All right, thank you, George. From my side, I believe that I will see the trends for the 2025. Huge investments in developing offices and residential properties will continue from the same as happens in 2024. More companies are choosing to relocate in Cyprus. We see that and we get inquiries for this. On tourist industry, huge investment by foreigners, especially from Israel, Ukraine, and Russia. And it's actually what in Limassol is happening. You will see new restaurants, high quality restaurants, high-end restaurants, but the owners and the management, even the waiters, are from Moscow, St. Pete, or Kiev. I'm very excited about this because the quality of the restaurants here in Limassol went to high quality. IT sector is growing, and our government starts listens to them more and more. For example, Tech Island is doing great work here in Cyprus. And as I know, our government officials, they having meetings with them in regular basis and see the problems. I believe, but the IT sector will become a second most important sector after tourism in Cyprus. Fedonas and George, thank you for your time. I believe we have managed to help our viewers understand what is currently important to focus on. Dear friends, thank you for your time. Take care. And
Have
see
a nice
you next
weekend.
year.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.